U Solaris čas se stiže, jer od mora on je bliže. Odaberi tu putanju za Vrnjačku banju. I za odmor ovog puta to nek vaš je dom. solarisresort.com.
C'est pantalon qui.
5, 4. Hello everyone and welcome to Serbia Fashion Week. We would like to thank everyone who is watching us right now and who will follow us this entire weekend through our true fashion experience that will be digitally this year. Now, we would like to introduce Emery Francois. He is our Vice President and he will tell you about all the events that will happen this season and all the amazing designers that will showcase their collections through exhibitions and through fashion shows. Thank you.
Dear friends, what could be so different to open the 15th Serbia Fashion Week, to make it maybe from Paris? Why not? After all, we have so many problems. It was impossible to meet each other. It was impossible to do something each other. Finally, unlocked. So we have to do it. We still have to do something. We still have to be present and to keep our mind. That's very important because that's the only way. As an artist, I had a few months very difficult. I imagine like all other artists, because you don't know anymore what you have to do, why. You go in the morning at the atelier, and maybe sometimes you don't go anymore at all. So this 15th Serbia Fashion Week will be a real Serbia Fashion Week. Even if it shows our live streaming shows, even if we can't meet each other, whatever, it will be a link with the next Serbia Fashion Week, and we need to still be there and not to miss too many seasons. That's very important. So this Serbia Fashion Week, we'll have around 50 fashion shows from designers from all over the world, of course. You know that it's the specialty of Svetlana, and we'll talk about Svetlana right after. We will have fashion films, we will have exhibitions, we will have online shows, fashion summit, conference about ecology. That's important. We start to discover what some virus can do. So imagine when the nature will be against us, what could happen. So that's it. In fact, I'm more interested into some foreign designer than into Serbian designer, because you know that I love Serbian designers. But they're all there. They're all present, and that's a chance. Thank you. Thank you to still be there. Thank you to still believe in the project, believe in us. It's not so easy. I know, but I don't help you sometimes. And we will have designers from Europe, from USA, from Latin America, from Africa. That's amazing. We need to continue to mixing culture and to make it in Serbia. It seems for so many people to not be an evidence because it's in Paris, it's in London. No, now it's in Serbia. Because Serbia is a place, and Serbia Fashion Week is a place in Balkans where it happened. And of course, we have Asian Fashion Days, which is very important because we have so many designers. And for me, it was a very surprise because for the first time, I saw a designer who will be in Serbia, and I already know her from Paris. And it's not because of me. So, we have a problem. And let's talk about unfortunately, the true main event. The main event is that COVID. The fact that we can't do everything. But even if we can't do everything, we do something. And we will unlock it. And we will start to unlock it to prepare next season. I want to think about Svetlana. Svetlana, you did it on purpose. How could it be possible to be the president and to be positive at COVID on the day of the opening of the Fashion Week? Nobody could do that except you. So, my dear president, you know that we give you all our feelings, and you're going well, for sure. Because we have so many projects and we have so many things to do, so you can't help me. You can't help me, it's not possible. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm very happy for the first time to open this 15th Serbia Fashion Week, which won't be the biggest, of course, because we can't be together, but which will be a real Serbia Fashion Week in the way we continue to grow. So let's start. Let's start with everything, and thank you again to be there, even if it's in video. Thank you, and let's open Serbia Fashion Week from Paris. Thank you.
Sometimes a fashion film can be very impressive because of money, because of some techniques. But is it really a good fashion film? Is it really what you want to discover? I think that sometimes it can be easier with just an image, maybe. An image we can settle a brand, we can settle style. For example, Henrik François brand. What could it be? What could be our own word? Maybe it's just the character, the designer, because it chose to do it a long time ago, like maybe almost 20 years now. And it's start to be a room with just two colors. Some black, of course, because black is the heart of the designer, and some gold, because this gold can become maybe the color of the 20th anniversary. So, what could we put in that room? In that room, of course, we will put dresses. For that brand, for example, these dresses could be the 800 dresses, the fashion prototypes from the couture shows. And it could be also little parts, these little parts that the designer like a lot, to be cozy, to be privacy, to be in his own place, and to stay maybe in the style of the house. So yes, let's talk about the style of the house. A fashion film can be also that, just to talk about style. Some brands will need extravagance, some brands will need techniques, some brands will need modernity, and maybe for Henrik François it could be elegance, some sensuality, but for one time, no model, just the designer have to express his own sensuality by his own. And some fetishism with his coats, with his spins up there, with his zippers, and also with the color. And maybe you will find another kind of fashion film. Maybe just by one image, one settled place, you will see the designer, you will see the collection, you will see the full brand. So now I ask you, do you really need all that money to do a good fashion film? What do you think? Do you really need that teams of so many people think about one idea? Maybe sometimes come to your home, come to your soul, just express yourself, just express who you are, and maybe you will do the best fashion film you can imagine. So, excuse me, I have to rest a bit. Sometimes a fashion film can be very impressive because of money, because of some techniques. But is it really a good fashion film? Is it really what you want to discover? I think that sometimes it can be easier with just an image, maybe. An image we can settle a brand, we can settle style. For example, Aymeric François brand. What could it be? What could be our own word? Maybe it's just the character, the designer, because it chose to do it a long time ago, like maybe almost 20 years now. And it's start to be a room with just two colors, some black, of course, because black is the heart of the designer, and some gold, because this gold can become maybe the color of the 20th anniversary. So, what could we put in that room? In that room, of course, we will put dresses. For that brand, for example, these dresses could be the 800 dresses, the fashion prototypes from the couture shows. And it could be also little parts, these little parts that the designer like a lot, to be cozy, to be privacy, to be in his own place, and to stay maybe in the style of the house. So yes, let's talk about the style of the house. A fashion film can be also that, just to talk about style. Some brands will need extravagance, some brands will need techniques, some brands will need modernity, and maybe for Aymeric François it could be elegance, some sensuality, but for one time, no model, just the designer have to express his own sensuality by his own. And some fetishism with his coats, with his spins up there, with his zippers, and also with the color. And maybe you will find another kind of fashion film. Maybe just by one image, one settled place, you will see the designer, you will see the collection, you will see the full brand. So now I ask you, do you really need all that money to do a good fashion film? What do you think? Do you really need that
Welcome.
teams of so many people think about one idea? Maybe sometimes come to your home, come to your soul, just express yourself, just express who you are, and maybe you will do the best fashion film you can imagine. So, excuse me, I have to rest a bit.
Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
Good afternoon, everybody. We are so glad to have you here. Welcome to the summit of 2020. My name is Anne-Marie, and this is Alexa.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexa, as you heard before, and we are very glad to have you here today with us at the official Serbia Fashion Week Fashion Summit 2020.
That's right. We will be your hosts tonight, obviously.
Yes.
But our founder and president of Serbia Fashion Week, Mrs. Svetlana Horvat, unfortunately couldn't make it today, but she is watching us, of course, online, and we send her our best wishes.
But instead of Svetlana, we have the next best thing, who is Aymeric François. He is an amazing designer from Paris, and he is also our vice president, so he will also open today's fashion summit. Hello, Emeric, how are you?
Hello. No, as well as 1 hour before, but it's okay. So, after the opening of Serbia Fashion Week from Paris, why not open the Serbian Fashion Summit from Paris too? So, dear friends, thank you again to be there. You know, I put my official, it's the official entrance to make it simple, in fact. What are your special, different, difficult? The feeling to not be able to be really together. So we need to invent, we need to be more creative, to change things, to continue things, and to be there. Serbia Fashion Week is there, the Fashion Summit is there, and we'll continue. Anyway, even if Svetlana tried to make it funny to be positive on COVID the day of the opening of the Fashion Week. It's unbelievable. So, we're here again. I'm here again to thank you, to support the project of Serbia Fashion Week, to be our partners, our great partners with the faces I see, people I see for a long time, people who made me access to that meeting because I didn't have the good password. Okay, so, dear friends, this is officially the opening of this Serbia Fashion Week, and we'll also open the Fashion Summit now with your experiences, and it will be so good to have the feeling a bit to be with you. Even if we can't, we'll do it next season, in a year, whatever, but we're here together, and at this moment, after this year, that's a good point. So, dear friends, thank you again to be there, all.
Thank you, Emeric. Your style is impeccable, as always.
I can also make dance if you want.
Of course, why not? This is a show, don't forget. Right, Alexa?
Of course.
And I think it is time to present our first guest today, and it is from Tajikistan Fashion Week. Who are we speaking to, Alexa?
Well, now we're going to speak to Tajikistan Fashion Week official producer and president. His name is Ibrahim Otokir, and he is here to talk about the latest fashion topics.
Yeah, and our question is, I hope we can hear each other. Our question is that fashion weeks are always surrounded by noise, music, special energy. And I don't know if digital fashion weeks can do the same to you. So my question is there any difference between a digital fashion week and a traditional one that we are used to?
Can anyone answer, or how does this work? Hello,
hi.
everybody. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh,
how are you?
Really good. We're in time for motion and show, and we miss all the music, and it would be a lot better to speak, or at least to walk the runway, for example.
And see all the models, of course.
And the creations of the modern artists of our time. So tell us, please, is it really at all, can you make the same effect with a digital fashion show and fashion week, or does it have to be a face-to-face encounter in fashion world, of course?
So my answer is no. It's not possible to make the same effect. I've been involved with Fashion Week in many different levels since 1995. And only now involved in digital Fashion Week as president of International Digital Fashion Week and F&O Network, I guess since, maybe 6 months ago. So of course, when you go to a live show, you have your colleagues, you have the excitement, you feel the energy, the music, the camaraderie, you know, it's a completely different feeling. Digital, it's just video online and you watch it when you want. I feel like a live presentation of Fashion Week, it's much more emotional for the designer to showcase their collection. It's much more powerful to show. Now, there's also a flip side. Always it's yin and yang, right? So there's plus and negative to both.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you about the benefits.
Yes, so the benefits of live Fashion Week is the energy, the feeling, the group, the team to be together, and how good it feels, right? To be around this atmosphere. Yeah. The not so benefit is the cost. Now with Digital Fashion Week, the not beneficial part is you don't have this feeling of excitement, of energy to be together, to watch the show. But the positive part is it saves the designer thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. It's much cheaper to create a video, and the longevity, it's longer. So
would you tell that, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but would you tell that some fashion designers that don't have the financial stuff to handle a fashion show can maybe become recognized at this time?
Absolutely, 100%, absolutely. Because anyone can make a video even with their iPhone and have some editor put something nice together. It's not so expensive, and they could be on a platform that's digital, for example, International Digital Fashion Week or Serbia Digital, or any digital, you know, any digital fashion week in the world, and showcase their collection. And it's much cheaper, much more effective, I think, than
so we got
the
new
traditional
talents
fashion
on our
week.
way.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So I think it's pro and con for both. That's my opinion. I think now, because we are constantly evolving in technology, we're constantly evolving in business, so we have to go with the flow and evolve and evolve and evolve to be better and better all across the board. In my opinion, the future is 100% Digital Fashion Week, because now we have new reality with this virus. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how things will
live with it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you so much for
That's my opinion.
Hello. I wonder if I can interject. Sarajevo here online.
Yes,
I wonder if we can join. Hello.
Of course, this is a summit.
Can you hear me?
Everybody can say anything.
Yes, we can hear you,
want.
and also we want to introduce you.
Marcia Messiah here online with on behalf of Amela Radan, the director of Sarajevo Fashion Film Festival and Sarajevo Fashion Week, and we are very excited to next year in August 2021 invite you to actually a live and in-person event co-organized in the Bosnian Park Pyramids in Visoko during the first edition of Mother Earth Festival, a 21 days of multimedia energy spectacle dedicated to water and Mother Earth.
It sounds really good.
Yes,
Mother
we're
Earth
very
Festival.
excited.
So what is it about?
Excuse me, I can't hear you.
What is it about Mother Earth Festival? It sounds really, really good and green.
So we are very excited. We have a team of Bosnian artists that are interested in preserving the waters of Bosnia and getting our culture back on track and sharing it with the rest of Europe and the world. And we have an amazing team of artists. Of course, Amela Radan, who I introduced.
Hello.
The Fashion Week director. And before I go, I would love to send a special greeting from Amela to Emery Francois, who had his first fashion show during his years as a student here, and who Amela would love to have direct the fashion events during our festival in Visoko in August.
Thank you so much for the invitation. It sounds really interesting. And how are you dealing with the pandemic in Bosnia?
Well, it is, I think, pretty much as everywhere else. We have restrictions. We are trying to be aware and keep the distance
Yeah.
and, you know, see what's coming.
Of
See
course.
what's next.
And how does it affect the fashion industry?
I think now most things are online, so we are very excited to be able to hold this event next year in August, in which in the Park Pyramids in Bosnia and Visoko we'll have an opportunity to have everything live in nature. So this is what we are working towards.
Well, we wish you all the best and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Who
And
will
you
join us
people-
now? Yeah? Sorry?
We also want to just invite everyone if they have, if they want to submit film for the festival, they can go on our website, Sarajevo Fashion Film Festival, and send them to invictum.org@gmail.com. They can find the email online.
Okay, thank you. We'll search for it.
Of course.
Definitely.
I think it would be a
Thank
great
you.
opportunity for a lot of designers to join. Yeah.
If I may say something about, because what you said, to come back to your topic, to speak about what you call a traditional fashion week or a traditional show is not so traditional because it's rather new, as a matter of fact. It was created by Kenzo. It was created. Yeah. So it was created by Kenzo, who created these modern shows with music and the lights and girls dancing on the runway. And we're so sorry that we lost Kenzo this year because, as you know, he's dead recently. And of course, what we need is someone, a designer, fashion designer, as clever as Kenzo to reinvent something after this very strange period we're living in. And of course, digital is wonderful. It's very helpful for orders, for commerce. Fortunately, it's there. In France, for instance, all the stores for fashion were closed until this morning. So all the stores, fashion stores, could reopen this morning, and everybody is hoping to regain what they lost in a couple of months. You know, unfortunately, traveling is not so important, and we need foreigners to buy for the economy. I suppose it's the case for every of our country. We need people to travel and big spenders to buy our collections. In the meantime, I guess, yes, as we reinvented distribution through digital, we have to do something totally new through digital, because people will have taken this habit of not traveling so much. But we must not forget something, and this will be my conclusion. We must not forget that fashion is emotion. So we have to put back emotion into digital, otherwise it's not going to be fashion, it's going to be clothes.
Can I ask just one question? So is there, what do you think? Do we have to understand these times and just get through them and not think about it too much, just protect ourselves from the virus and everything else and stay healthy? Or do we have to, rather than that, find that this is a new realistic way of living? So masks will all be our accessories for a longer period of time. Should we accept it instead of try to just not think about it too much?
There is nothing much we can do about it, and I'm so sorry about Svetlana, who is the perfect example of what can happen and can not ruin but distract, you know, a fashion week, especially on the first day. Everybody is waiting for the vaccine. in France, and I guess in the rest of the world, everybody is going to be waiting for vaccines. With my great age, I'm supposed to be one of the first to get the vaccine, because in France they will start with the eldest. But I guess very quickly we'll get out of this strange situation.
We have to talk about the financial loss as well. I think major cities, major fashion cities, are used to the tourists, as you said, but unfortunately there is no tourism now. There's only tourism in that specific country that people live in. So you can't go abroad and see some fashion show that you really, really wanted. Can we somehow bring back that financial loss after this all ends? Is there any way that people just won't bankrupt?
Somebody else want to answer? Yeah.
Okay, come on.
Of course.
Who wants to answer?
Everyone is welcome.
Yeah. Everyone
Okay.
who has something to say, you can say it. That's why this is a summit.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear me. I'm Ian Williams.
Yes, we can hear you.
Great, fantastic, and thank you for inviting me. To continue the topic on Digital Fashion Week, I don't share the same enthusiasm because we've had, it's our only recourse right now, but because Fashion Week also employs people, and there you mentioned tourism, and you have to think about the fantastic buyers, and then also just the coverage from our social media influencers to the journalists. It just does not have the same impact. During the pandemic, people have turned their focus to just television and hopefully home exercise and other things, and they just, we have what we call the pandemic fatigue, and as a result of this, it is hurting the economy. You can't tell me any designer that has participated in a digital presentation got the same amount of media coverage, got the same amount of potential buyers, generated more of an impression for their business. It's been very challenging. And I don't think that will ever replace that, because in the past, we have video anyway, and we support it, we throw it out there. Now for the buyers, they prefer it that way because they have to review so many collections. So some of them don't want to travel as much to the Fashion Week so they can do what they want to do, buy the clothes, that is it. But in terms of all the other jobs in the industry, from the models to the stylists, to if you can't create the exact same energy for a live show, it just doesn't have the same impact. So, I'm glad we still had an avenue to do during this time period, but most people cannot wait to be back in front of the live shows to experience what Fashion Week offers in the jobs and the tourism and just the promotion of the designer as well.
I have another question about people dressing up. So, when we're in a lockdown, we don't have that much, we don't have any events to go to. So people tend to let themselves go and not dress up as much as we do when we have to go to work every day. We don't put on our makeups. Does this mean that maybe people won't need to dress up that much after the pandemic is gone, because that's what they'll get used to? And is it okay from your point of view, or should we just really put our makeups on every day and act like everything's good?
I think that depends. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Okay,
Rocco.
okay. I don't know if I introduced myself the last time I spoke, but
No,
my
you
name is
didn't.
Rocco.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. My name is Rocco Leo Gagliotti. I'm the president of FNL Network. It's a global fashion lifestyle network that's available on all smart TVs and all devices. And then I'm also the president of International Digital Fashion Week.
We are very happy to have you here.
I'm very happy to be here. And I really hope Svetlana, I pray for her every day that she'll have a speedy recovery. She's an amazing person.
Yes, she is. And she's very positive. So
Yeah.
everything will be fine.
So I think it can go one or two ways. Maybe when this pandemic gets better, I hope sooner than later and very fast, people, they will want to get dressed up. They will want to put on makeup. They want to get out of the house and feel beautiful. And it's possible the quite contraire, you know, opposite. That maybe some, and I, you know, there's so many people in this world, I'm sure it's going to be both. Some people, they love fashion, and some people, they don't care about fashion. But definitely, this pandemic will make new styles, I believe. You know, we'll see some new trends, some new styles, maybe more relaxed fashion, maybe, you know, diverse. There's so many different people, so many different styles, so many different tastes. It will go both ways, I believe.
So
And
you
I
don't
also
think that if
want-
my friend doesn't put
I also
makeup
want to
every
add-
day that I should tell her, please try doing it? Yeah, so it will be all come to an end one day,
Well,
and we all
can
will
I say something?
continue. Yes, sure. Hello.
Best regards from Montenegro. I'm Srđan Lubada from Montenegro.
Hello.
Best
Dobro
regards to
večer.
all. Dobro večer. This is very interesting for all of you from Fashion Week. We had 40 days in May and June without any case of corona. And I had the time to organize my fashion week, and I had the best ever fashion week, because the people they were closed for 2 months, totally closed, and they couldn't wait to go on a fashion week, to go to be dressed, to go on the red carpet, to see fashion show. I had the fashion show on open, and. The crowd was full, the stage full of crowd, and everyone was so happy. So I think that when Corona stops, everyone will forget everything, because the people can wait to have normal life.
And you are known for managing events and everything. And what will happen? It was great that you could make an event happen, and that there were so many people interested in going there. But what if something really goes wrong and you won't be able to make any more events like that, like face-to-face events? Did you think about how you would manage to make events as well? So would it be a digital form, or just the outside as you already have been?
Well, I don't see that option, because I am very optimistic, and I know that how Corona came, that it's going to stop. So I don't think in that way. I'm sure that everything will be very good, that we will back very soon to normal life, because we are example in Montenegro, that we had for 40 days without any case, and everything was for 2 or 3 days, everything was in normal. Only 2 or 3 days. We were walking, going to see, drinking coffees, going to restaurants, going to shopping malls, after 3 days. So I think that's going to happen in all world.
Well, we hope it will really happen soon.
Of course. And we also would like to hear from some designers, like their experiences on all of this.
Yes.
And how have you found this whole situation, and has this been challenging for you, and has this been even a boost to be more creative and to make some new changes to your collections, to your designs, and everything you like? We have a lot of designers tonight. For example, one of them is Eduardo Perez González dos Cantos from Argentina. Hello?
He's
else
muted.
can join us?
Everyone is muted. They have to unmute. They have to unmute their microphone so we can hear them.
Yes, so please, before you start speaking, make sure to unmute your microphone, and then we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, we hope everybody did that.
Yeah.
And we would like to speak to a designer about the wrongdoings of the pandemic, or maybe the highlights of the pandemic period of time, because it had to be difficult to be creative and think of new ways of showing clothes, right? Is there somebody of the designers?
Hello?
Hello?
Hola, we can hear you
Hola.
now.
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you join can you tell us about your experience during the pandemics? How did you design? How were you creative? Did you find some new ways?
Eduardo, we're waiting for you. We can hear you.
Can you? Hi, can you hear me now or not? Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
we hear you.
Eduardo. Good morning.
Hello to everybody. I'm glad to be here listening to you and to sharing this Fashion Summit. Well, I think this pandemic, I think it's changing a lot of things, and I think, of course, I believe that we will have a new point of view about a lot of things. So I think it's a very important moment to be creative and to listen to yourself and to listen the word, to listen the new things that is going to happen for the next, couple of years. I think it will be something new after this. We need to work in that, but I think we will know like later in 1 or 2 years, because now is the moment that I think that we are trying to create something different. So I think it's a good time to be very, very sensitive about the situation and to take advantage working and creating something for the next year.
How did you spend your time in isolation in the pandemic when you couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything? How did you work? Did you work?
Yes, well, I spend a lot of time in my studio where I work, where I paint, where I write, where I read, where I have all my colors, all my paints. I was taking, most of the day. They are reading, working. Of course, I mean, now we're not anymore like locked down. So we're like 3 months and we are like working with, social distance and whatever. But we are like with some kind of, small event, maybe for 20 people, 10 people, 30 people in outside, because now it's summer here. So we're having in the last 2 months, something more, it was not locked down. So we were like only 3 months locked down.
Yeah, and did you miss the people you worked with? How did you overcome that? I mean, a lot of people work, in the fashion industry, and
of course.
What did you miss the most?
Yes, of course I miss my friend. I miss all the people that I work, and I think that the most important problem that it will have the fashion industry is with the works, with the jobs, because a lot of family that they live from this industry, they are having less work. So that's I think it will be a big problem that we will need to try to figure between everybody.
Yes, a lot of people had to be let go because they couldn't be paid, and a lot of families were challenged that way. And people are finding creative ways to keep them in the business so they could feed their children, right?
Yeah.
And Eduardo also mentioned a very interesting thing. He mentioned some local designers and some local families that are always influenced by this situation currently, unfortunately. And we actually have a very interesting speaker that can talk about that topic. That is Adrian Mitzi from Malta. And I noticed that he has a very interesting background. Hello, Adrian. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Hello, how are you?
We are great. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Not bad. So far, so good. We can be better, but we have to be positive, not in COVID style. We have to look into the future of how this will affect everyone. As all of us know, fashion weeks in different countries are organized for different reasons, apart from promoting the fashion industry itself. In our case, Malta is a small island in the center of Mediterranean, and basically tourism is one very important factor for our country. Then, which at this point in time with digital media, it's definitely not going to assist in a fashion week in such cases. Then we will be going to face the economy system. And the reason is that we hope that the artistic sector will manage to survive and not change jobs. It will be a huge pity to see those people who work in the artistic sector not managing to keep on going, waiting for the norm, which we might hope will be very similar to what we had before. Definitely would not be the same, but not being the same doesn't mean that it have to be worse. So basically, in my opinion, all we have to do is wait. Wait for the simple reason that something similar like this pandemic happened 100 years ago. And definitely, all of us are waiting for the vaccination to come over. But nobody knows how it will hit the whole population, how it will hit the entertainment sector, because fashion weeks are entertainment. We give vibe to the general public. We give memories to the general public. And with the digital, in my opinion, I refuse to set up any sort of digital fashion shows or any digital, something which is different, because I still believe that fashion weeks give memories to people. We give the vibe to all of those attending, and it's a co-branding situation. So basically, from our side, is we have to wait, and maybe the norm will be back. Hopefully, it will not take that long. In our case, we are thinking of holding the Fashion Week again in the end of May, beginning of June. Maybe being too much positive to work for it, but we need all to know that Fashion Weeks are not organized in a week's time. Fashion Weeks need months of hard work, and obviously that's why I mentioned the economic sustainability, that we had already a hit. We have worked and spent a lot of money. We invested a lot in our Malta Fashion Week, which I had to cancel, and all the investment done went down the drain. The second time, we need to be very cautious, and we hope that we will be economically stable to manage to organize it, because we need to see now the reverse effect which many businesses will have. Many fashion weeks depends on sponsorships, no sales, no money, no marketing budget. Normally, many companies, the first budgets which is reduces the marketing budget, which will affect us all. So basically, it should be, we need to plan like a chain reaction between the general public, us in the events and entertainment sector, the suppliers. There was no time that one could help each other in such difficult times. And that's what we need to do. In Malta here, we are planning what we are calling a recovery plan, because we need to survive right now, but obviously without a proper recovery plan, which will include not just one plan, but many other plans, we will risk to have a second hit, which many businesses will not afford. So basically all I have to do is wait and wish luck to all of us.
Alex already mentioned that you are very focused on local designers and their creativity. There are a lot of topics that local designers may be more in danger because of the pandemic than the designers who have really huge reputations. Do you agree with that?
It depends. It depends. You cannot generalize something like that, because it depends about the business, how it's created, how many employees, how many turnover they're used to, how many profitability. So basically, you cannot generalize, because one new designer can survive and another new designer will not be able to survive. The same goes for the big ones. One might survive and the other one might not survive. So basically, it's all about what had been done in the past. So the more business-wise a company is stable, the more possibility is to recover more immediately than others. So basically, we will see an effect of what have been done in the business in the past years, how much wise a company was than another one.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you so much. Now, we would just like to also take a little step back and to make sure that this situation doesn't affect everyone financially, creatively. And we would like to ask like a little philosophical question for our next panelist, that is Aydarkan Kaliev from Kazakhstan. He is the founder and president of Aspara Fashion Week, and he is the founder of brand Aspara. And also, he can answer us a couple of questions. Hello, Aydarkan. How are you?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
We're great, thank you. So we have a couple of questions for you. Since you are a very intelligent man and have a lot of knowledge in philosophy, we would like to ask you a little philosophical question based on this whole situation. So we were wondering, can you tell us, will these changes ever go back to normal? And should we try to just get used to this situation, or should we maybe dream of a normal world where nothing of this happens and where nothing of this will ever come back to us? What do you think should we do?
Yes, I think if on your questions, what will be future in Fashion Week look like? I don't know about music and another. I think competitive Fashion Week are needed because clothes will all exactly produced by and dressed, but buyers will approach this issue consciously and rationally. And it will be weeks of fashion in concept that is more selfless than selfish. Fashion Week should become a means of communication between the production and the consumption of clothes. Then the transition from decorativeness to informativeness, I think. In this concept, such a concept as the presentation of a designer or company producing ready-made clothes will be important. In this regard, mass will gradually go away. In return will come individuality and uniqueness. Of course, there is still a lot of work to be done, and we have to get used to the new condition. This can be achieved through health. I want to thanks for invitation my friend Svetlana Orvat, and I wish to Svetlana get well soon, and I wish everyone health and prosperity. I hope then the epidemic will end, and we will meet with you in Kazakhstan at Aspara Fashion Week. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you too. Yes, we also hope it will end soon and we will see each other all over again.
All over the world.
All over the world, yeah.
So our next guest for tonight is actually Mariana Michelli from Italy. She is the founder of Mad Mood Milan Fashion Week, and she has also nurtured a lot of amazing designers from Italy and also from all over the world. We would like to hear a couple of answers from you. Hello, Mariana, can you hear us?
Hello, everybody. Hello, I am Mariana Michelli, founder of Mad Mood Milano Fashion Week. For me, it's a big pleasure to take part of this summit. I want to say hello to all my friends, Aida, Cornel, Rocco, Mr. Malta Fashion Week, with I don't know in the English, but you have now barba.
Sì, c'ho la barba adesso.
Beard.
Okay. Now I am agree with Adrian about digital fashion week, because I prefer really fashion week. For this, I couldn't. I don't want organization Milano Fashion Week online, because it's very different when we organize really events, because during the events there is the fashion show, okay, but there are also the really relationship with all stakeholders of fashion, because during the really fashion we can talk about dress, about fashion, about economy of fashion. So I can't wait to come back like last February. I can't wait to see all of you, because it's very different. This summit, this conference is a big opportunity for us, because we can meet in chat, but my point of view is that all is different, very different, when we can meet in one place. Maybe Aidarkan, for next edition you are organized really or online?
We didn't.
I believe this was a question for one of our participants. Mariana, can you just repeat the question one more time?
Aidarkan, for Aidarkan, I don't know, maybe he is organizing the really fashion show for April, maybe?
April.
Oh yes, Aidarkan, this was a question for you.
Yes. Aspara Fashion Week next season, 7th season, will in April 7 and 10.
Yes, but it's really no fashion week, not online. It's
Will
online?
it be digital?
Online.
Online, okay.
Digital.
I need make a combination online and the offline.
Okay. I can't wait. When we
I wanted to
I
ask
want
a question.
to take a plane. I want to. I want to come back to travel to meet everybody of you, and to see all the collection around the world, because the collection is very nice, because different collection of different fashion show, different fashion week can represent the culture of each country. So in January I have been, ciao Eduardo, in January, last January I have been in Argentina with Eduardo Cantos, and I met a beautiful designer.
Mariana, can I ask you something, please?
What?
Can I ask you a question, please? So you talked about connections that you make during fashion shows when you see people, not online, but talk to them. How important are these connections to make a good career, a recognized career in the fashion business?
It's very important, because when the people meet during the events or during the fashion show, they can build a new market, for example, or sometimes can born the new partnership, and with partnership the market of each designer can grow. I hope that you understand me.
Yes, so everyone can benefit from them, right?
Yes,
from new connections,
yes,
friendships, partnerships, right?
Yes,
and tell us something in the first wave of the pandemic. So Italy was really hit, especially Milan. What did you do through the day? Did you have any desire to work? Because I believe it was really tragic to look all those people being the victims of the COVID-19?
There are different designers because there are pret-à-porter or haute couture. For haute couture is very difficult because all wedding was cancelled. So for the dress, evening dress or wedding dress, there isn't market for now. So for many designers is very difficult. But for other designers, like for example Patriot, because Monday there is the fashion show during Serbia Fashion Week. There is the fashion film of Patriot. They are a big brand for denim, and they, for example, was changed the market, and now they are working on e-commerce, and they can sell.
Hello?
We lost the connection for a second. Can you repeat, please, that last sentence you said? We lost the connection.
Monday there is the three fashion show about Gabriele Greco and Massimo Orsini. They are Italian designer, and they was selling their collection because they work with the wedding, but now wedding is all wedding are cancelled. So they are a very strong designer because now they are working with pret-à-porter and not with haute couture. And there is also Patriot, is a big brand about denim, and they are change their market because many store of Patriot now is closed, so they are working on online with e-commerce. So we are working with e-commerce, and now the market is very changed. Milan is all is closed in Milan. Milan is like a desert It's very bad situation for not only for fashion but for all markets.
For everybody, right? Well, it's really tough, and we hope everyone can get out of this situation very soon.
And of course, to stay safe.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. Stay healthy.
But I am positive.
Yes,
I am sure that in 2021 all come back like before the pandemic.
We are very optimistic too.
Yeah, the New Year's resolution.
I believe we will see a huge transformation, and everything will be new. It will be a different way on how we need to move forward with everything. We're going through something with this pandemic that's like a horror movie. Like if 1 year ago someone told any of us, oh, we're going to have this virus, we're going to have this, no one would believe it, you know. So I believe everything will change, and we hope for the best, and we see how things will progress, and we all stay positive. And I love that fashion, it really unites the world. All of us are from, you know, I'm from the United States. I mean, everyone's from a different part of the world, and it unites us. This is our common denominator. Even though we have different religion, different beliefs, but we all have this passion for fashion. And there's so many different sectors within this aspect of the fashion, right? It's the creative, it's the business, it's the selling. You know, there was a question that was asked earlier about retail sales. In the United States, some of the most famous retail shops are gone bankrupt. They went out of business. Over 80 million people are unemployed, from what I understand. In the United States, each state has their own laws. So some states, they have quarantine, they have lockdown, they have limitations. Some other states, they don't. So people, they're running from one state to the other state. E-commerce which it hasn't been something we've discussed just yet, but everybody, the majority of people, from what I understand in the news I read, they're buying things online because they're afraid to go shopping. They're afraid to get the virus. So I think a lot of this, of course, has to do with the fashion, because now the typical traditional fashion week before pandemic time was designer had a collection. They went to a fashion week. They showed the collection at the fashion week. Then the buyers were invited to the showroom. The buyers saw the clothes. They put the order in. 6 months later, they receive the clothes and they sell it. Then they pay designer. Now, with pandemic, it's digital. We hope we have buyers to watch to buy the clothes. Are the clothes ready to be sold now, or will they send to factory in 6 months? You know, these are, or is it the designer makes the clothes and they sell straight through digital to the consumer? So instead of B2B, which is business to business, it's now B2C, and make fashion and designs that are available now and sell from designer straight to consumer through shipping, through the post. You know, so there's all these different variants that are fastly changing. You know, the richest company that became rich through the pandemic was Amazon in the United States, because they have everything online. This guy, Jeff Bezos, he became, again, multi-billionaire because pandemic, and Bill Gates, and there's all these things. It's interesting to study the business behind the fashion, because at the end of the day, it's a business. It's a business. It's about make clothes, sell clothes, make profit. Make clothes, sell clothes, I mean, this is the business. Of course, we have the creativity and the feeling and the emotion, but business, and with economy and with pandemic, now everything changed, and we have to see what happens, and we hope for the best. It's my opinion.
Yes, well, we agree as well, and I think if you mention the business, that masks, I mean, there are polemics about masks being a new business industry. Do you agree? I mean, is masks something that face masks that we will always have to wear and integrate in our wardrobe?
Absolutely. You know, we have a designer from Saudi Arabia, and she sent me some sketches of some new collection she's designing. I don't want to tell the world, but I believe that we will see an evolution of design where now it becomes clothes that incorporate this personal protective attire. You know, I think we will see an evolution in fashion that will also complement, like masks that match bathing suits, or masks that match suit jacket, or masks that, you know, just simple little things. And again, I hope we have vaccine. I hope there's no problem with vaccine. I hope everyone can take vaccine and we go back to normal in 3 months and it's the way it used to be. I hope, but I don't think so. I think, in my opinion, maybe I'm crazy. My opinion, vaccine, it comes out. Many people get sick from vaccine. It's not what we all think, because all our bodies are different. Then they have to make a new vaccine, new vaccine, new vaccine. But we see. I hope I'm wrong. I hope everyone is perfect. We all will be together and enjoy Fashion Week, and people will buy clothes, and the economy will be great, and we have a huge... But in the United States, I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be civil war. But we'll see.
Thank you so much.
I hope not either.
We are all very optimistic as well. And you mentioned a very interesting thing. You mentioned that we need all to be a little fashion community, because we all have a passion for fashion. Sorry. And that's why we have Maya Kirk. She is from the European Fashion Union, and she is here also to talk about some very important topics and some very important projects that they are launching in 2021. Hello, Maya. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to see you and meet you too.
See you.
So tell us, how have you been during this time?
Actually, during this time, almost the same as everybody else, but what we did, and this is actually to the question you said, is it important to be beautiful beautiful and dressed on. That's why we launched Yefu Beauty Edition for makeup artists, for hairstyle artists, and of course for stylists, for designers, just to develop different skills. So if you're at home and you are not you're a designer who is not impressed of being showing via video without music in a digital format, you can go to Yefu Beauty Edition and find something new online. So it will be like online school. This is changing reality. Of course, we are not fond of it. We are not so much going happy and crazy about it, but we do what we have to do. We are developing somehow. We are trying to find new ways to survive, to give new ideas for designers, for creative people. Actually, I'm Maya Kruk, European Fashion Union representing. We have designers from all over the world, from Russia, Ukraine, Poland, Belarus, and everybody is in difficult situation. But with this project Yefu Beauty, we found that all of them want to say something, to collaborate, to give some lections online for other participants. So let's hope, but still I hope that sooner or later we will have no masks and we have a future digital developing near offline together, but not just only digital or only offline.
Yes, we all hope too. So we also have a very interesting question for you. Like you mentioned one of your online projects. And is that everything that you plan for 2021, or do you also plan some other projects like some fashion entertainment events that are also digital, or do you also plan for them to be live?
On 2022, we hope that in February we will have our event and it will be offline. But February, as somebody mentioned before, planning and preparation of fashion events is not 1 week. It's really taking months. And if the boundaries will be still closed, so my plans will be turned into online format. This is life. That's it.
That is our reality now, and we have to adjust to everything we have. Yes, and also, we would also like to introduce our next panelist for tonight. And he is actually a very, very, very big designer. And also, he is one of the most eminent people in Canada, because his name is Jamal. And he is the founder of Canada or Vancouver Fashion Week. Hello, Jamal, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm just to correct you, I'm not a designer, I'm an organizer, founder of Vancouver Fashion Week and Global Fashion Collective that shows part of New York, Tokyo, Paris Fashion Week. We were launching Milan and London this year, but hopefully September of next year. So,
it's very nice to meet you, it's very nice to see you. How have you been?
I've been great. So good to see all friends, Rocco, Ian, everyone here. I'm glad Serbia Fashion Week organized this. Going back to the questions of how pandemic affected, I think for a lot of businesses from small to big brands, big designers, it was reset, stop and think, because the world were going non-stop. After global market economy became into one where people travel from one place to the next place in a few hours. One company owning business in 50 countries or 100 countries. So we were living a great time. And that reset and stop has been great for so many of us, I think, if we think of it in a positive way. I was traveling twice a month, different place, and I was loving it. At the same time, it was very challenging. Rocco can tell you about that as well. we used to meet in different places and
Absolutely, you're right.
enjoying all that, but it was tough on our body, on our mind, and also so reset and thinking and being alone or being with a family can only bring great things to us and to the market also, to designers, I think, as well. So do we think things will change? Yes, things will change. Is it going to change for the better? Yes, human beings, we don't like change, but we can adapt when we don't have choices. So digital format will only get better, make more business for designers and brands, because you will have more people able to see the collections rather than just a couple of hundred people who are attending the shows. As far as bringing emotions to the shows, well, look at cinema. We go to movies and we cry. That's because of the music. There's so many elements that have to come together. So yes, definitely, it will not be the same as people attending the shows. I've been involved since attending Paris Fashion Week since 1999. So I love the physical shows where you see people, you meet people, you see the collection, you see the energy and everything that gathering of people brings. However, we have to get ready for change because change is inevitable. It's going to happen. And it's only for those who fight harder and scream more will have the more access to clients. At the end of the day, either get involved by your own video or part of fashion weeks to get more global exposure by using your online community, from Twitter to Instagram, ever evolving technology that has more people looking at your collections.
Thank you so much. And I have just one more question for you. Has these changes motivated you, or do you think it made you a little bit less motivated?
Well, I have to say the first few weeks and months were a little bit tough, but absolutely motivated me. Because what other choice do we have? You don't have other choices. We have to get up and find ways to get better. I could only focus on my health in the beginning. I started working out for the first time, cooking and eating at home for the first time. So just starting from there and connecting more with locals in Vancouver, where I live at the moment. So I think starting with yourself and with your family and important things that we neglect because of work or passion that we have, that's how positively affected me.
That is a very excellent answer. Thank you so much. So you actually transfer a lot of positive energy, and I also know one person who will help us to get even more positive. That is Cornel Crescent. He is an amazing TV personality, and he is one of the biggest fashion enthusiasts I have ever met. Cornel, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear very well.
Hello.
Hello to you all. Nice to see you, Dobroveče, because this is what I know in Serbian. First of all, Svetlana, I wish you to get well very, very soon. And we need to do big things together again. So I touched a little bit of ideas from everyone, so I must say hello to everyone. Like Ian said and Rocco said, I think that the fashion lovers that used to love fashion before the pandemic will still love it, and those who didn't will not love it. So I think from my point of view, this will not change. The second one is that I have a lot of friends, designers that are already adapting, like the face mask, and for example, they put scarves with some masks on the face. So people and the designers are adapting to this. And then I think that people will need to get out, because after you stay in lockdown for 1 month, 2 months, and so on, you need to buy new clothes, you need to get out and to show people the joy, the happiness, because you didn't had the opportunity to show that being home. If we talk about the challenges for the fashion weeks, for the fashion events, I think from my point of view, the corona pandemic has had a major impact, as we all know, on fashion industry, like worldwide. At the same time, the fashion industry faces challenges in consumer demand, for example. So the designers need to adapt the outfits, as I said, they need to create new masks, for example. And also they need to adapt prices because many people lost their jobs, so they don't have enough money to buy clothes, so they need to adapt the prices if they want to sell. All the fashion events, fashion weeks, and other additional talks are now online. So I do miss going physical, talking with people, going in backstage for the fashion weeks, touching the fabrics, the materials, the textures, talking with the designers, as you all know, and also to interact with one and each other, because this is very important in our business. The challenges of the fashion weeks, for example, are very big from my point of view. First, because they need to adapt to the technology, for example. If we want to have a digital fashion week, we need to have very good equipment so that we could stream live all the events and so on. Also, if the designers want to go to a fashion digital event, they need to do a movie. That movie needs to be done very well, so you need cameras, lights, and so on. I don't agree that much doing a video with the phone, because Rocco, you know very well, if you want to do a very good movie, you need to have equipment, you need to have a script and so on. So these digital events are not that cheap as people may think. They can be really expensive. All the fashion week organizers have the knowledge, for example, to do the physical event, but this is the time we cannot do it. But I think if the situation in 2021 will not go very well, the best fashion events or fashion weeks could be like in between, to do some physical events and also some online events, if for the example, the cases will go down.
Cornel,
this
I
is
would
my
like to
point
ask
of view.
something from you. Sorry.
Yes, please.
But do you think, you mentioned touching the fabrics, and it's so special and so personal. Can you
Yes.
overcome it? I mean, do you have to get used to it, not touching the fabric, but just seeing it through a video? I mean, is there something that can a video really tell you what fabrics and materials are used and how can it look, or can you cheat a bit with it?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe if you have like a 4K image or 8K image just to see deep in the fabric, but no, the feeling when you go in backstage and touch a fabric, if it's leather, fake leather, fur and all that, cannot be comparable if you see it.
Right?
Yes, you can't see that online, because when you touch a fabric, you have feelings. If it's soft, if it's rough, you can't see that online, for example, events. So sorry, but the digital cannot replace the feeling of going and seeing the cuts of an outfit and all that.
Right? It has its benefits.
Sorry? It has a benefit because you can still see the collections and the outfits. But if you go and see the fabrics and you can see the outfit live, you can see the cuts, you can see the sewing and everything else. So yeah, pluses and minuses also.
Do you see a more colorful fashion when this whole pandemic ends? Because you said people need to have fun, need to feel good, need to feel positive and feel joy. Does it mean a more colorful fashion next year or the year after that?
Probably, but if a person still likes black, it will still use black and be happy. So this is like for everyone, how does himself feeling. For example, I use colors, but I still have friends, designers that are very holly jolly and wear only and only black.
And it doesn't mean they don't feel joy.
No, they are holly jolly and happy and optimistic all day long.
Really, yeah. Yeah, well, fashion tells a lot about people, right? When you see somebody on the runway or on the street when there's no pandemic, right, and no lockdown, can you tell something, you as a fashion journalist, do you know or notice something that other people don't, who don't pay attention to fashion maybe, about that specific person? So you see he wears hats or a tie, and does it mean that they are more sophisticated maybe? Or it's just all a show?
Maybe, or maybe they just want to show something and that's it. I think the attitude is very important when you wear an outfit, because you can wear like a $10,000 euros outfit and still be sad and lonely and that's it. But you can wear like a $10 outfit and have a very good attitude, and you just made my day.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't mean how much it costs, it means how you wear it,
Obviously.
right?
You're right. You're perfectly right.
I have a
Thank
question.
you so much for joining us.
I have a question, if you don't mind, because what you just said is really interesting on an artistic point of view. You asked several times to everybody the question, is digital going to change the fashion weeks? But my question, and this is to the designers, Eduardo, as you're here, I suppose, does the fact that you show on a screen and not on a runway changes your creativity? It's like, you know, when you design clothes for a movie, it's not like you design clothes for the real life. There is a distance.
So it's completely changing everything, right?
So I want to know, if you don't mind, through the designers, if the fact that their clothes are seen on the screen and not live changes the way they create and they imagine their creations.
Yes, because through the lens you see everything different, so you have to make everything different, right?
Yeah, that's my question. I'm not a designer. I'd like to hear it from a designer.
No, we are waiting for some designers to check in and say their opinion.
Your microphone, Eduardo.
Would like to say it?
To microphone.
Yes, Eduardo wants to speak about this topic.
Eduardo?
Now is my microphone okay?
Yes.
Yes,
it's okay?
we hear you.
Okay. No, I'm saying that it's a very good, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I think it's a very good question that Donald made, because when you need to plan a film to show a collection, you need to think about the story. And now that we know that probably for the next year we will do films and not, you know, physical runway. It's very interesting to start in the beginning of the creation. You know, and you already know that you will need to show in a film way. So it's interesting in the process, because it's different. As Cornell says, you cannot touch the clothes, and it's very, very difficult in the film to show how it feels. So it's a little bit more complicated when if you need to show your collection in film and you want to make the people really understand which is the material. So it's changed a little bit. It's not. I think we will work on this new way by film, trying to show the people the best things to get used to with the clothes.
Well, yeah, it's a big challenge. It's a bigger challenge, I think, now, because it's a new way and you have to adopt. Everybody has to adopt, right? I was thinking about, we were talking about people who work in fashion industry, and it's a lot of different professions. Who are the most endangered groups in the fashion industry right now? Because the designer can imagine something and work from home maybe, But what about models, for example? Do they have the same job? I was reading an article that Fashion Week had really a lot of models involved, and there was only one film to be shown with one model. So a lot of models were not called back this year. So are they a endangered group?
Well, what I was saying before was that one of the biggest problem for me is a family industry, and it's so many people in this industry that they won't have work for because there's so big the industry, and there are so many family models, makeup, hair, everything. So it's so many family that live from the fashion industry. So I think it's now a problem right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, we hope they stay in business, and we hope they have the motivation to wait, and maybe even if they change their profession for a quick minute or a year or two, they will be back and be creative as they were. Thank you so much.
And also, you, Anna, mentioned like a lot of people and a lot of businesses that will be endangered because of the situation. And we actually have Tanya Fuseki here, who is from Greece and who is the CEO of Athens Exclusive Design Week. And she actually has a big community of a lot of designers. So she can probably talk to us about this topic a little bit more. Like, how does the situation become in Greece because of this situation? And do you think that also the models and the designers are the most endangered ones, or do you think that someone else is also in this group of people? And first of all, how are you today?
Hello from Greece. First of all, let me congratulate Svetlana for this interesting initiative, this summit, and to wish her a very quick recovery. Here in Athens, we had the 27th edition of our Fashion Week, which was digital. What we did is we had an interesting concept. We tried to adapt to the circumstances. We tried to see our beautiful Athens, our beautiful city, through the eyes of fashion. So we created fashion films. We directed fashion films. We shooted fashion films in different places in Athens. So we had, the chance the opportunity to promote also our city, but also we took under our umbrella, our Fashion Week, all the fashion films of the designers. So we organized all the fashion films. They didn't do it by their own. So we had a nice concept, and we created 13 really very beautiful fashion films. So regarding the models, we used models. We could, have for saving, as you said, because it's a film, but we didn't want to. And we wanted also our designers to showcase their clothes. We didn't want to, to have to showcase only 2 or 3 clothes, only if they wanted to. So we had many models. We worked as we were in a real Fashion Week. The only thing regarding the models that you said is that this time in Athens, we didn't have a lot of models from abroad. So usually when we have the Fashion Week, the agencies here, they are asking models from different places of the world. This time, we hadn't a lot of models from abroad.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a good way to handle the situation, and we all hope it will end soon, and we will be able to continue the Fashion Weeks as we got used to it, with the special energy that brings a lot of people together. But for as long as now,
we have to adapt. We have to adjust, and we have to evolve. So yes, under these circumstances, we have to evolve. We cannot stop and wait when the things will be as it used to be.
And creativity never dies, right? Even
exactly.
If they put you in a room with only a window maybe to look at the world and nobody's out there, even then some ideas came across, right?
We saw it as an opportunity, exactly, movement, to adjust and be creative. Also, our designers, for them it was an opportunity to say that they are alive, they are still here, and the people has to see them. And regarding the other thing that you were saying, we cooperated with influencers that we put them to go to, we asked them to go to the designers, get dressed, have videos there in their ateliers, and they sat in their sofas watching, you know, front row viewing their fashion films in nice clothes. So we wanted to encourage also the people that we should be positive. We should keep this nice feeling.
And if you mentioned influencers, so there is a lot of options from the various of platforms, right, to see somebody who has a lot of followers. Do you, when you choose an influencer, do you only look at the numbers, or do you, does that influencer have to have something more original than just putting up a really, really good orchestrated pictures out there?
Both, to be honest, and because we are cooperating with the designers also, it's not only the Fashion Week as an organization, they have also to approve them and, you know, to play the chemistry so they can cooperate. So there are different factors that plays a role. For sure, we are looking for the numbers, but not only the numbers, but how interactive they can be with the people. So this is who the audience. This is very important for us. But this really worked very nicely for our event, for our Fashion Week.
Would you say that influencers are the newest job in fashion industry?
Yes, you know, there are many opinions about influencers. I don't know if it is good or bad, but yes, it is. It is the trend of our era, and everybody is working with them. They're really important.
Yeah.
I don't know to tell you exactly about you know, the result and if it is always what we are expecting, but yes, they are very, very important for fashion.
That is important for fashion promotion, definitely. But also Tanya mentioned that tourism, because it's very influenced because of this whole situation, and they use their platform to promote Athens and to promote Greece. Yes. And let's find out if maybe some other countries also do that with their events. For example, we have someone from Budapest Fashion Week.
Yes.
I think that it would be the best if you introduce him.
Balázs. Maher Balázs, do we hear each other? Jó estét. Hello.
I think he left and he sent us all a message on the discussion panel. He waved bye-bye.
Oh, unfortunately, he had to leave.
Yeah, well, I hope we'll get the chance soon to talk to him.
Yes, of course, and we also send him all the best and to stay safe as always. But we also have someone from Stockholm, Sweden. Do we have Iman? Hello?
No.
Unfortunately, we don't have her as well.
Yes, but we can talk.
We can talk, yes.
Yeah. So we were talking about influencers. Do designers have to make a big and good connection with influencers? And what do they expect from those people? Because being an influencer is a really hard job. You always have to be fresh. So I'm asking the designers, what are the expectations from the influencers, and do you have some people who work for you, like an influencer?
For me, can you hear
yes,
me?
Please.
Okay. Well, for me, it's a hard word, influencer. I'm not, you know, I'm not very used to, because I think what I do or what I like is to dress or a people who is for me that is like a very talented in things that that I believe, you know, a very good, I don't know, writer, actor, actress, or painter, or music, but like the influence, just to be influencer, for me, there's a lot that for me, they are not influencer. So, you know, it's a word that is not very easy because everybody thinks that it's influencer, and it's not like that. I mean, I prefer more talent than followers, that most of them are sometimes, you know, buy followers, or they, I mean, so I need to see first something like with that I admire, like a very talented one in some of his work or her work.
Thank you so much. And we are also very interested if maybe fashion weeks use some other like types of promotion for their events, especially in these times. And I think that we have also someone from St. Petersburg, from Russia. And we have Elmira, or we have Konstantin.
Is there somebody joining us from St. Petersburg? I'm afraid not.
Yes, probably.
At this minute.
Unfortunately not.
No,
Okay, well, we still have a lot of interesting people here to talk with us. So we can talk maybe with Ian Williams. Ian, can you tell us, how do you use and what types of promotions do you use to promote your fashion event? Oh, just a second, you need to unmute.
Okay, hi. Sorry.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Thank you for the invite. Of course, influencers are very important. They're important more so now because it depends on the power of the influencer. So like for someone like a Kim Kardashian, who, you know, we don't work with, but she can endorse a project or mention it and it'll be completely successful. So as designers want to count the media impressions about their collections, one way they can see that is if influencers who have lots of followers, who follow hashtags and things like that, exposes their brand more. You know, many years ago, the fashion industry was very, very elite group, and only buyers and fashion press were at these events. And just the general public, we only saw limited advertisement, you know, television, maybe you hear things on radio. Today, because of social media, the average person sees thousands and thousands of advertisements. So that's why it's important to bring the influencers on so you can get a part of that. So we use influencers. We have television and radio interviews we do prior to the Fashion Week to promote the Fashion Week. And of course, we have a very strong online presence.
And red carpets as well, right?
Oh yes, absolutely. You know, Washington, D.C. is all about
How much red carpets?
But we're not going to have the Civil War.
But what do you think? How much when somebody dresses up in some beautiful gown and goes on a premiere and shows off that beautiful gown and its beautiful creator, what does it mean for the business? Does that really get that high from that point on?
Well, from the American standpoint,
just for a few weeks or something, and then the designer has to work on it with the influencer to keep it that high. What do you think?
Well, I don't know if the designers work with the influencers. They, you know, it's you know, the influencers definitely, you know, want, you know, people to talk about and things to talk about. So I don't think you have that relation. But it's important. People love going out. I don't think anybody will say they prefer it to be how we're living today with the pandemic versus what it was before. I think things will return back to a norm after a while. Over 90% of people survive the COVID, you know, without any really serious implications. You're going to have the vaccine is 95% effective. It's probably going to be the most safe vaccine that's ever been developed because of its expected use, you know, and the economies just can't continue to survive under these circumstances. So many people need their jobs back. Artists need to be motivated. I think even with masks, I know designers who made masks initially and they want to be a lead and sell them for $30 to $50 US. And as time moved on, they can't sell it for that price anymore. You know, most people do not prefer to wear a mask. You know, they wear it because it's a necessity, but once it's not a necessity, we're not going to wear clothes with masks. We're not going to wear masks. We're going to go back to normal.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you.
Yes. And also, just to check, we have one more important guest here with us. She's from European Fashion Council. Her name is Nadia Valeva. Let's see if she is online and if we can also ask her a couple of questions. Unfortunately not. No, okay. Well, we could just ask you a couple of more questions and because we are very close at the end of our fashion summit. So would you all like to say one more thing before we end this fashion summit?
Something hopeful.
Yes.
Something optimistic to get us out of these days.
Trust me, fashion will survive. It is one of the most important industries in the world. People like to look good. They like to feel good. They miss the experience of socialization. So it will survive, you know, and there are many, many fashion houses that have thrived even during the pandemic. And there's been new concepts and things like that, but fashion will survive. This is just a temporary setback. And the future looks very optimistic for all those involved, from models, designers, photographers, journalists, buyers, stylists, the whole entire industry. And on top of that, the digital portion of it will also become a permanent part of fashion. So I think it looks good for everybody.
Thank you so much. It's always nice to hear something so optimistic. I also saw that maybe Srđan Luberda from Montenegro wanted to say something.
Yes, of course. I'm first of all very optimistic because I sent the picture of my event in June, so everyone can see it. How many people there were, and how that was all organized. So first of all, I'm so optimistic, and I know that the all other planet can wait this to stop and to start to live normally. And we are like. We as a human race, we are all optimistic, and I'm sure that it's going to be everything very soon, very good. And because of that, because the time passes very, very fast, the years are passing very fast. So you close the eyes, open the eye, 1 year, 2 years are passed. So I hope that, and I'm sure that it's going to be everything good with the fashion, with all planets.
Thank you so much. Cornel Tristan, would you like to say a few optimistic sentences?
Of course, like Ian said, fashion will survive. This is just a pause button, but after this, we will come back stronger, optimistic, and also with a lot of ideas regarding fashion. We need to do that because, like, we accumulated all these ideas in this period, like 6 months or so long, so we need to express them. Yes, I think all will be okay, but until then we need to stay safe and optimistic. That's the best part.
Thank you so much. Mr. Donald Potar, what would you say? How to overcome all these difficulties? How to stay positive?
I say that you know, every religion, and I think fashion is like a religion, needs to sacrifice virgins. And with all the virgins, the models that you spoke about that fashion sacrificed recently, I think it can be only for the best if we follow the Roman rules or the antique rules. Now, it's just a joke. A bad joke, but you know, I'm from Paris, so we can joke for fashion, because this is France, and we have to be a little bit beachy, otherwise it wouldn't be fashion. So the beachiness will stay, that's for sure. This is how we're going to be optimistic, and of course, fashion will come back better than ever, because we can see it, as I told you, today, for instance, we reopened the fashion stores in France. Everybody rushed to the fashion stores because they were really need. I don't say it's a drug, but it's something that you need emotionally. You know, it constitutes something from not only our culture, but our emotions. And these cannot be erased at all. So this is my conclusion.
Thank you so much.
Up next, we have Eduardo. Eduardo, would you like to say something for goodbye?
Well, for me, it's an honor to be with you guys. It's an honor to share this moment with you. Most of you I know in person, and I saw like many times in a lot of countries like Donald, Cornel, Mariana, Adrian, well, of course you, Alex, and everybody. We meet in a lot of countries, and I wish that we could do it again very soon.
Thank you so much. Now, we would like to hear some goodbyes from Italy. Mariana, are you still here?
No, I don't think so.
We don't think, oh, okay. Well then, Adria Mizzi, Malta.
So, we will all come back again. We're hopeful. We are artistic people. We can create. We are human beings. We can adapt. So basically, this is my positive message. Good luck and stay safe.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think that is all.
Yes, we would like to thank you all for joining
Sorry,
us.
I just want to say hello to Eduardo, my friend in
Hello.
Argentina.
Oh.
How are you?
Can this be unofficial from now on?
I think before we close this summit, I think it's only fair to say hi to the president of Serbia Fashion Week, the brainstormer behind this summit, because if it wasn't thanks to her, we are not all here, all these countries talking and chatting together. Svetlana, I'm pretty more than sure that you're watching this. Get well soon, and we all hope a speedy recovery for you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to host this fantastic summit. I think we heard a lot. We heard the benefits. We heard what is wrong with whole this situation, except from the pandemic itself on the fashion industry. And I think we learned a lot. And I think it will all pass, and we have to stay optimistic, right, Alex?
Of course. And I would just like to invite everyone who is watching us right now, and of course you, our dear guests, to watch all of our Asia fashion films that will be announced at 6 p.m. on our YouTube page. So you will be able to watch all fashion films from all around the world, starting with Asia.
It's about 20 minutes from now on.
It's about 20 minutes from now on, yeah. And there will be Asian designers from all over Asia. And also, we have some European and also some other worldwide known designers that will wait for you on the 30th of November.
Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you so much.
It was so nice to talk to you. Bye.
Goodbye.